Hi everyone. Just give me 1 second. I want to see if I can. No, it would appear that I cannot share this while I'm on it. Okay. I wanted to do a quick live. Technically, I'm not supposed to be on social media for Lent, but that's okay. This is important because I wanted to do a quick live to talk about the rally in Springfield today. So today was our vote no on House Bill 2467 and House Bill 2495 rally in Springfield. It was crazy successful. I think that numbers like upwards of 4,000 or 5,000 is what people are saying at this point. So huge numbers of people turned out. We had at least 15 or 20 buses bring people in from all parts of the state. Our speakers were myself, Eric Scheidler from Pro-Life Action League, Bishop Paprocki from the Springfield Diocese, Belinda Guyton from Southside Pregnancy Resource Center, Nancy Cruiser from, oh gosh, the name is escaping me. She's post-abortive. She's Catholic. She has an incredible story. Who else? Oh gosh. Reverend James Scudder from Quinton Road Bible Church was also a speaker. And it was just incredible. I mean, to listen to, first of all, the number of people that were in the room, I was just blown away standing up there. And you can actually watch the live feed of the event on Pro-Life Action League's website. So on their Facebook page. So Pro-Life Action League actually posted on their Facebook page a live feed of the rally as it was taking place. So you can go in and watch it if you want, and you can see the crowd. I mean, the crowd is just insane. Like, first level was totally full. Second and third levels, there were people all the way around. There were tons of watching down from up above. So it was just absolutely incredible, an incredible experience. I think that, some of the common themes that I think we heard throughout the speakers and also the legislators who spoke. So the legislators who spoke were Terry Bryant and Amy Grant, who are two female pro-life legislators in the House. There were a ton of other pro-life legislators there. Unfortunately, not all of them could speak just because we didn't have time. But there were a ton of other pro-life legislators there. I think that the response that they have seen from constituents has been so overwhelming. Terry Bryant said that witness slips, and let me explain a little bit about witness slips. So Terry Bryant explained that witness slips have been hugely successful in affecting the movement of these bills. So as of right now, I think upwards of 15,000 witness slips have been added to the record for the House bills. So for the bills in the House, so House Bill 2467 and House Bill 2495. And then the Senate bills, I haven't checked that number in a while. The Senate bills actually had a hearing on Wednesday. And the Senate bill, I believe, last time I checked it, hi Andy, I see that you're on here, so maybe if you know how many witness slips there are on the Senate bills, you can comment, because I know that the Senate bill for repeal of parental notification, last time I checked, there were more than 7,000 witness slips on the record. So Terry Bryant said at the rally today that witness slips have had a massive impact on how slowly these bills have actually progressed. So I can tell you that the House bills were both House bills were scheduled for a hearing 2 weeks ago, 2 Wednesdays ago, and we had surpassed 12,000 witness slips by the morning of those bills. So instead of holding the hearing, they actually assigned both of the bills to a subcommittee, which is like not the way you want things to go, and not the way that you would see things going if things were going well for the other side. So that being said, we've also had numerous co-sponsors drop off of House Bill 2495. So I told a story today at the rally about a legislator who one of his constituents was also a parishioner at his church, and she knew that he went to the same church as her. So she was like aggressively calling him on, constantly like on the phone, trying to get a hold of him, calling his office, like, tell him to call me. I want to meet with him. Let me have a meeting. She finally got him on the phone. And she told him, if you don't take your name off this legislation, I'm going to start a petition in our parish, and every single person that goes to our church is going to know that you co-sponsored this legislation. He said, let me call you back. Hung up, called her a half an hour later, and he had taken his name off of the legislation. And his name is off the website, so we know it's legit. Now, that doesn't mean he won't necessarily vote for it, but I think the point is that this is how you get to these legislators. We have to be aggressive, and we have to be, I think the weapon that we use with this is exposing them publicly. I think that a lot of these, yeah, totally, Andy. Sorry, I'm reading Andy's comment. Yeah, 100%. So I think Ralph is our lobbyist with Illinois Right to Life Action. And Ralph said that in the 30 years that he's been working with the pro-life movement in Springfield, he has never seen even close to the number of witness slips that we saw filed on House Bills 2495 and 2467 2 weeks ago. So I think that speaks to how successful these things are. So again, I think, at the end of our rally, the action items that I told everyone were, one, first and foremost, witness slips. People have to fill out witness slips, and we can continue to do that. So the Senate bill passed through committee yesterday, unfortunately, and it's funny how things happen, because I didn't actually even hear that from our lobbyist. I was on the phone with a reporter, and she was like, well, you might have heard that just a couple of minutes ago they voted House, well, it's whatever, I don't know the Senate bill numbers, to be honest, but it's the repeal of parental notification. They voted it through committee in the Senate while I was on the phone with her. And she said, she kind of laughed, and she was like, yeah, it's funny because all the Republicans raised their hand and started asking questions, and the chairman of the committee was like, okay, we're gonna have a vote, and all the Republicans were like, we didn't get to ask our questions, we haven't had an opportunity to finish with the hearing. And she was like, nope, we're gonna vote, and they voted it through. So I think that speaks to, pretty typical political tactics in Springfield. Nevertheless, point being, witness slips have a huge impact, A. Second of all, let's learn from the story about John D'Amico. I don't care if I say his name. John D'Amico is the legislator whose name was on the legislation, and then they took it off. Or then he took it off when his fellow parishioner was like, I'm going to start a petition in our church. So that works, but we have to follow up with these people, right? So you can't just let them get their name off of the legislation and then think that that's going to be the end of it, that there isn't going to be any follow up. So because he could still vote for it. So there has to be follow up with these legislators. Also, the third thing, and this was, I think, the most overwhelming part of today for me from a Catholic and Christian perspective, is I could not believe the willingness of everyone on the panel, not just Bishop Paprocki and Reverend Scudder, to acknowledge the spiritual battle at play here. And so in the state of Illinois, if you don't know, in the state of Illinois, there was a satanic statue erected in the Capitol Rotunda during Advent this year. So I believe that the pro-life issue is a profoundly spiritual issue. So that was something that was clearly discussed and talked about throughout by every single speaker at the rally today. And not only that, but it was hugely, the positive response to that type of dialogue in the State House, talking about, Christian principles and how important it is to bring God into the conversation, was overwhelming. That was absolutely what people wanted to hear. So I think that that's something for us to take to heart as, Catholics and as Christians who have a concern for public issues and public policy, is that we need to bring our faith into the conversation. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.